Rabbi Manis Friedman. Hello. Thank God it's Tuesday. As I just told our audience, life is getting more and more interesting by the moment. Things are happening. And since Friday, we are all in a very interesting state because the war between Israel and Iran is full force. Yet it doesn't seem that it's scaring people or even worrying people. No one is oblivious to the fact that people are dying, getting hurt. Missiles are flying, they're hitting targets. Yet we speak to our journalist in Israel, and he seems to be uplifted. He says that the whole Israel seems to be uplifted. We speak, thank you for Beis Hana. We have a lot of our students, part of Beis Hana, who are situated in Israel, including some of the teachers, and everybody is in a pretty good, uplifted mood. There is a war going on. Why aren't we being affected negatively by it?
Isn't that amazing?
Yes. But why?
And you can add to that. It's been 2 years of miserable suffering. We should be completely exhausted, defeated, discouraged. We start another war. Maybe we are the source of all the problems. Can't seem to get rid of us. Now, it is absolutely amazing. All the things we've been predicting and talking about for years. There's a very impressive little piece, a clip of Douglas Murray. I don't know where he came from. I don't know who produced him. 13 years ago, he said to some European leader conference, he said, Israel is going to have to attack Iran. And they're going to have to do it themselves because no one else has the vision. No one else ever knows what to do in a crisis. And the whole world is going to blame Israel. And the whole world is going to accuse Israel and condemn Israel. And then everyone will go home and thank God for Israel. Because the whole world needs to get rid of Iran. And now it's happening. It's, why did it have to take this long? Okay, maybe we'll figure it out. But thank God now it's happening. Israel is doing what Israel has to do, what only Israel can do. So once again, the attention of the entire world is on Israel. And the attention of the entire Jewish world is on Chabad House. Wherever Jews are stranded, what do they call?
That's true.
The minority within the minority of the minority.
Rabbi Friedman, this war has a name, and Netanyahu called it. He called it Nation of Lions. Why does this particular war have a name? Why do you think? And why this particular name?
I don't know, but do you remember who was the president or the leader of Iran before Khomeini? What did they call him? The Lion of Judah. I don't know what the connection is, but he was called the Lion of Judah. Anyway, what's really exciting is this medrash. I can read you the whole thing. It's just fascinating. I have to wear my glasses.
Very becoming.
I'll do it quickly. The year, no, let's see. All right. Jerusalem will in the future be a lamp of light to the nations, and they will all live by that light. For your light, the light of the Jewish people, has come. The Jewish souls speak to God and they say, Master of the universe, it's because of the Torah you gave us that we will, in the future, delight in your light. In other words, because we know Torah, we know light when we see it, and we will delight in your light. What is your light? The light of Mashiach. As it says right in the beginning of creation, the Spirit of God hovered over the waters. What is that Spirit of God? Mashiach. And it says, and God saw the light and it was good. That tells us that God looked at the generation of Mashiach and the good deeds of that generation before he even created the world. And he tucked away that light under his throne of glory for that time. The Satan came before God and said, what is that light under your chair? What is that brilliance? And God said, it belongs to the one who is going to put an end to you and an embarrassment to you, make you an embarrassment. So Satan said, can I see him? God says, come, I'll show you. When the Satan saw Moshiach, he fell on his face. And he said, yes, definitely, this is the one who is going to throw me and all my henchmen, all the idolaters, into Gehenna. As it says, death will be swallowed up forever, and God will remove all tears from all faces. At that time, the nations of the world will be inspired, and they will say, who is this great leader that we are going to follow? What is his name and what is his nature? God says, his name is my righteous Mashiach. What is his nature? He stands up straight. Finally, Jews will have good posture. He straightens his own posture and that of his generation. He enlightens the eyes of his people, and he helps them. And no nation and no religion can stand up against him. Now, God started to make an agreement with Mashiach. God said, these people whose sins you are covering up, you're protecting them, they, in the future, will put a yoke of steel on your neck, and you will be bent over like a calf. Your eyes will grow dim, and your spirit will be exhausted from the weight of their sins. And your tongue will stick to your palate. Do you agree? Do you accept? And Mashiach says, Master of the universe, how long will that suffering be? Will it be many years? God says, no, I promise you it'll be a week. If you are not comfortable, then I will just destroy them now. Mashiach says, Master of the universe, with joy of heart and with pleasure, I accept upon myself, but on the condition that no Jew should be lost or left behind. Not only those who are alive in my time, but even those who have already died and are buried. And not only those who are dead should be saved in my time, or those who died in my time, but all those who died since the beginning of creation, since Adam and Eve. And not only those, but even those who were conceived but were never born. All the miscarriages, all of them should be perfected in my time. And not only those who were conceived and not born, but even those who you considered creating, but they were never even conceived. Even those souls should finally be perfected. On this condition I accept, on this condition I am willing. And the sages said, the week in which the descendant of David will arrive, they will bring yoke of steel and put it on his neck, and he will cry out and say, Master of the universe, I'm a human being, how much can I take? King David cried about that, about his descendant, and he described it as, all my strength has dried up. So at that time, God says to Mashiach, my righteous Mashiach, didn't you already accept from the beginning of creation? Now, let your suffering be like my suffering. Since Nebuchadnezzar the wicked destroyed my house and set fire to my temple, and I had to send my children into exile, since then I have not sat on my throne. So Mashiach says, I'm comforted. I can't expect, the servant can't expect to be better off than the master. So if you're suffering, I'm willing to suffer. Now Rabbi Yitzchak said, the year in which Mashiach reveals himself, all the nations of the world will be at war with each other. The king of Persia, nothing changes, same people, same characters. The king of Persia will be at war with an Arab king. And he will go to a Western king to get their assistance. And he will come back and destroy the world. And all the nations will panic and will be confused and will fall on their faces. And Jews will be panicked. And they will say, where should we go? Where should we go? So God says to them, my children, don't be afraid. Everything I am doing, I'm doing for you. Why are you afraid? Don't be afraid, your time of redemption has come. And this redemption is not like the previous redemptions, after which there was another exile. But this redemption, there will never be another pain or another suffering to follow. Now, when all of this happens, Mashiach is going to stand on the roof of the Beis Hamikdash, and he will say to the Jewish people, humble ones, your time of redemption has come. You don't believe me? Look at the light that is shining on you. Look at the attention you're getting. All the spotlights are on you. What does that mean? It means the time of your redemption has come. It is also written, there will be days where the darkness will cover the earth and all the nations. But on you God will shine his light. And then all the nations will travel or be guided by the light of Mashiach and of the Jewish people. As it says, nations and kings will follow your light and go and travel by that shine.
Rabbi Friedman, the only thing I can ask right now is this is it? I mean, based on what everything you just read, can we come to that conclusion, or is it still too soon?
No, I think this is it. This is it. The world is now keenly aware the Jews are not just another people. The world is very aware, very conscious of the fact Jews, not normal. Definitely the chosen people. And if they're the chosen people, then those who bless you will be blessed. It's finished. It's finished. The myth that there are other religions that are true, it's over. It's finished. The myth that Jews are the canaries of the world, we're here to suffer, it's over. For the Jewish people hiding behind a flag, it's over. You are not a new nation that came up in 1948. You are the children of Israel who came out of Egypt, who are descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's over. If you deny that, you're blind, you're deaf and dumb. The truth had to come out sooner or later. Well, now it's coming out. The truth we always knew to be true. But we were so intimidated, we couldn't state our own identity. We couldn't claim who we were. That's exile. That's damage. Well, the damage is over. Here's the thing. Before Gorbachev dismantled communism, the Rebbe had Chassidim in Russia prepare schools and jobs and housing for the Russian Jews who are going to be coming to Israel. So you got to plan ahead. When this is over, this week, the worst, next week, we need to have prepared schools for all the children who never went to a yeshiva who are going to want to. Are we ready for this? Are the schools ready for this? Do we need more schools? Do we need to support the schools? Because there's going to be a flood of interest. People are going to want tefillin. People are going to want tzitzis. People are going to want Shabbos candles. Are we ready for this? It's going to be a massive demand. Is that why the Orthodox are now the majority in the ZOA?
For now, it's still being fought, as everything is still being fought. And that is actually the big question. Rabbi Friedman, you're actually putting, for the first time, you're putting some sort of a timeline on this. You see clearly that it might be within a week or two. That sounds extremely exciting. Because last week we were saying, 30 years, 20 years? To fix the world. To fix the world, yes. God forbid. For sure, God forbid.
The whole world is now on one side. Jews are united like never before. And then they're invincible. The world is united. Somebody pointed out, is anybody counting how many civilians are being killed in Tehran? No one is counting. Did any, even CNN, Al Jazeera, did they report how many babies got killed in all of these attacks on Iran? No. The whole world is behind Israel on this. When's the last time that happened? Anyone who doesn't see this has got to be deaf and dumb. And blind, if they can't see.
Rabbi Friedman, there is still some talk of possible negotiations. There's still that kind of, hope among some. No?
Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. They want an end to the dictatorship. The people of Persia want an end. They don't want a ceasefire with the same government in charge. Nobody wants it.
Rabbi Friedman, why does getting rid of Iranian regime is the solution to all the world problems and the coming of the Mashiach?
Because it puts Israel into proper perspective. Israel is not the world's problem. Israel is the world's solution. Only Israel could do this. Only Israel could expose the evil that masquerades like religion. The holy supreme leader of evil man. Only Israel can do this. So that's number one. And number two, we spoke about this, I think, before. Will anti-Semitism just continue forever? Of course not. Well, then what's the alternative? The alternative is to be proud. That the nations should be proud to have relationships with Israel, with Jews. So overnight, all the anti-Semitism that the ADL has been carefully marking and counting, and it'll all turn into absolute adoration. Because how else can you relate to a Jewish people? It is absolutely miraculous, not an exaggeration. The word miracle was created to describe Jews. 2 years ago, they thought they could just wear Israel down. If they can keep sending rockets for more than a couple of months, Israel will just run out of money, run out of soldiers, run out of rocket interference. Okay, it took more than a couple of months. Then it took a year. Then it took 2 years. And then another front opened up. And then there was Hezbollah. And then there was Syria. And then there was the Houthis. And then trouble started in Yehuda and Shomron. 4 fronts. Israel can't last much longer than this. And now there are 5 fronts. And Israel is going. Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? I don't know why it took so long. I hope never to find out. Fact is, it took very long, and it drained the army, and it drained the people. And hundreds of thousands are homeless in Israel. For a long time. And now hundreds of thousands are stranded outside of Israel, can't get home. And hundreds of thousands are stuck in Israel and can't get home. How much can a people take? And not only are we taking it, we're making them pay. Come on. If this is not a miracle, then you are soulless. It's too obvious. It's too clear. The world is starting to admit. The world is starting to sound different already. The most anti-Semitic outlets, all of a sudden they're going soft a little bit. They're going quiet a little bit. There's no argument anymore. It's done. The falsehood is over. Now, how are people going to handle the truth? Some better, some worse, but there's no denying it anymore. So, Jews are the biggest blessing in the world. We are the chosen people. God created us to be his spokesman. We bring the message of God to the world. Can you handle that? That's it. It's done. So a couple of weeks ago we were saying, no more debate, no more argument. If you don't know that we're the chosen people, then you shouldn't be part of this conversation. Go hide someplace in shame, or go back to school and learn something. If you don't know that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, then you don't know anything. If you don't know that the land of Israel belongs to the children of Israel, you know nothing. That changed. Now you do know. Question is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? So thank God, the lie has ended. Jews have to rise to the occasion and undo thousands of years of persecution. Don't change your name to something more Anglican. Don't hide your mezuzah. So we are the last generation of exile and the first generation of redemption. Okay, that the first half is over. Now the challenge is, how good can you be when you are redeemed? You did magnificently well when you were persecuted. Now, how good can we be when the persecution is over?
Rabbi Friedman, but how do we react to some of our brothers and sisters still having doubts, still being on the wrong side? Even in New York City, it's so prominent when they are supporting the most anti-Semitic, God forbid, possible mayor candidate in the upcoming elections. How is that still possible? What do we do with this side of us?
We have radio shows like this one to help the perplexed and guide them out of their exile, out of their personal exile. Yeah, now the question is, can you handle the truth? Question is not what's the truth. That question has been answered convincingly for the whole world. Now, how are you going to handle it?
Rabbi Friedman, who do you think is going to have harder time handling it? The Jewish people or the nations?
The Jewish people.
Wow.
The nations can simply say, oh, okay, I'm sorry. But 2,000 years of persecution, you can't just say, okay, never mind. So that's what he says here in the Midrash. When Mashiach comes, he is going to have to tell us that we have been redeemed, because we still won't believe it. Yeah, we're going to have a harder time.
How do we make it easier? How do we make it better?
Well, the Rebbe always prepared in advance, insisted that we make a habit of stopping people in the streets and discussing their Jewishness. It was such a horrifying thought in the 60s. Not in the street. People, look, non-Jews are watching. And the Rebbe said, good. That's the whole point. Be a Jew publicly. Now, don't sit in the synagogue saying, oh, we're such proud Jews. But as soon as you step out of the synagogue, your bad posture is back. So the Rebbe made it almost comfortable for people to put on tefillin in public, on an airplane, where you can't hide, you can't run away. People are comfortable. Yeah, we'll put on tefillin in public. We'll wear our tzitzis out for everyone to see. Yeah. So the Rebbe paved the way, gradually took us out of our shameful cocoon and turned us outward. Show the world. Okay, now we got to do it on a much, much bigger scale.
Rabbi Friedman, in 1988, as it's being said now, and it comes from pretty reputable sources, Rabbi told Netanyahu, when he was still not the minister of Israel, and he said that you're going to be the leader of Israel and you have to be very strong. That's what I heard were the rabbi's words to Netanyahu in 1988. So there are so many prophecies that are coming out, especially like the whole internet is full of prophecies right now. People are saying, see, it's been written and it's happening, and there's so many proof. And Rabbi Friedman, your words today are so encouraging, so amazing. And 2 years ago on Rosh Hashanah, I made a wish. I said, I hope that the only reason I have a radio, well, the main reason, the best reason, is to be able to announce the coming of Mashiach. That's my biggest wish. And I believe that it's happened today. I really do believe it happened today. I believe, wow, this is the most amazing conversation, the most amazing program, the most amazing message. And I just hope that it's just going to get more and more out there for all the people to understand how things should be. That's amazing.
Speaking of Netanyahu, first of all, it's hard to imagine there was a time that he was not prime minister.
It's true.
Hey, who else was there? But where does he get the strength? Internal opposition, people out to kill him, people out to destroy him, constantly criticizing and shaming him, and I don't think he was depending on America for this decision. How does he wake up in the morning? Where is he getting this? It's superhuman. All those who were against him, who tried to undermine him, including the religious parties who now want to put an end to the government and go to new elections in the middle of a war. all those people are going to offer him a huge apology. Shame on them. He is amazing. Even if all the things they accuse him of is true, he's amazing. How do you take such responsibility? How do you carry so much weight for so long? He should have all the strength he needs to conclude this war decisively, finally, permanently, and the whole world will owe him a huge debt of gratitude.
I think he got the Rabbi's blessing to do that. That's what it seems like. Where else would he get that strength from? And
it was nice to see the president of Argentina comes to Israel, meets the prime minister of Israel, and what's the first thing they talk about? What did the Rebbe tell you?
Yes.
That's what the president from Argentina came with, a painting of him and the Rebbe. And Netanyahu repeated everything the Rebbe said to him on that Simchas Torah when he was the ambassador to the UN. So again, all the world's attention is on Jews, and all the attention of Jews is on the Rebbe, on Chabad houses. That which is true is now recognized as the truth. Can anyone criticize Chabad unless they're completely out of their mind?
It's crazy because I actually got an email this week saying we're collecting money for those who are stranded in America, those Israelis who are stranded in America. We're collecting money to house them. I'm like, I'm sorry, but Chabad's got this one. Just donate to Chabad. You'll be good. Rabbi Friedman, I think this is the most amazing, the most positive, the most... And this is what I started with. There is a war going on, and we're positive, and we're enthusiastic and optimistic, and you have just giving us all the proof why, for those who feel it but don't intellectually comprehend it just yet. And tremendous gratitude to you. This is what you do for us, for the whole world. Thank you so much. And hopefully it's just going to become more and more apparent. And hopefully, as you said, people can handle the truth. First and foremost, the Jewish people. Thank you so much for this program. And hopefully we'll have a lot more good things to talk about.
We will definitely.
Thank you so much.